There we go. I should have said this last night. Okay. I'm still getting the page ready, so take your time. Steve, you gotta help me, I'm stuck. Sorry for last night. Also, yes, I am running a little late. I was out all day, mostly. Welcome to Wonder After. You are now untrapped. Welcome to Wonder After Dark. Cars 2 is a 2. Whatever that was, it was loud. Cars 2 is a 2011 American animated spy comedy film. Yippee! Try that. Try that again. Jesse, help me. I'm trapped in the washing machine. You are now. Oh. Cars 2. There we go. Cars 2 is a I'm gonna choke the shit out of Daisy. Oh my god. Shut the fuck. Is that Daisy? Yes. Yes, that is the demon. The real Gemini is too scary, like it was literally built by a demon. Good girl. Cars 2 is a 2011 American animated spy comedy film produced by Pixar Animation Studios for Walt Disney Pictures. You know the routine. The second film in the Cars franchise and the 12th film from Pixar. The film was Raggy retard. Anyway, the film was directed by John Lasseter, co-directed by Brad Lewis, produced by Denise Ream, and written by Ben Queen. Slay Queen. Anyway. Yes. Lasseter, Lewis, and Dan Fogelman. Yes. John Harasser, yep. John Dark Souls, yep. God, I was gonna say I wish this shirt would fit Daisy, but actually, considering that my underwear fit on her, I wouldn't be surprised if this shirt would too. Anyway, why do you put underwear on a dog? I don't know, I thought it was funny. It's a baby. Anyway, back to stupid shit. Anyway, the film's ensemble. Is he light? I mean, I'd say that's pretty light. The film's ensemble voice cast: Owen Wilson, Larry the Cable Guy, Tony Shalhoub, Guido Corani, Bonnie Hunt, and John Ratzenberger. Jesse commits animal abuse. And John Ratzenberger reprised their roles from the first film. Also, message retracted, thank you. Anyway. George Carlin, however, who previously voiced Fillmore, died in 2008. And he was replaced by Lloyd Shear. I want a John Ratzenberger. Here's your burger. Anyway. They are also joined by newcomers Michael Caine, Emily Mortimer, John Turturro, Eddie Izzard, and Thomas Kretschmann. George Carlin was Fillmore in Cars 1, yes, but obviously by the time 2 came out, he died. So they replaced him for Cars 2. Cars 2, Copy 2, Sitting 2. There's a football. Football! Anyway, in the film, like Dog 2... Actually, this is not a dog, this is a motorcycle. Because if Pepper is a car, then this is a motorcycle. Actually, if we want to be technical, this is a moped. Motorcycle 2. Anyway. In the film, Lightning McQueen and... Yep, that's funny. Lightning McQueen and Mater, voiced, of course, by Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy, respectively, everyone to agree to compete in the World Grand Prix. Although, more accurately, it would be McQueen agrees and Mater tags along. That would be the more accurate. But anyway, compete in the World Grand Prix. Let's just say that. An international racing event showcasing a new alternative fuel called All in All. But Mater inadvertently becomes involved in a dangerous espionage mission that puts both his and McQueen's life in jeopardy. Typical online friendship. Cars 2, 2 more days yet. Cars 2, the movie that yeet. Anyway. If this floor was carpeted, I would. But unfortunately, it's hard. Anyway. What I was saying? But yeah, typical online friendship. Anyway, the film, as I said, was produced by Pixar, and as I said, was released by Walt Disney Pictures. I mean, that's like every Pixar movie. Do I even need to say it at this point? Anyway, the film premiered in Hollywood on June 11th, 2018, and released everywhere just a couple days later, June 24th, 2011. The film had a budget of $200 million, dear God, and made $559.8 million. Yippee! Yeah, it made money. Copy, I think it made money. I think it made money. Anyway, but yeah, it made money. Cars 2 was first announced... Excuse me. He gets distracted easily. Anyway, excuse me. Excuse me. Also, looking a little blurry there. Let me wipe my camera. That looks a bit better. Anyway, Cars 2 was first... Shit. Okay, Cars 2 was first announced... Cars 2... Wait, okay. Hold on. Okay. Discord also repeat everything after the movie that because I clipped. Okay, sorry. Perfectly cut. Perfectly cut. Someone clipped that. Yep. Perfectly. This is a peener. Anyway, perfectly clipped. Also, I'm going to put this little asshole down because my arm is starting to hurt. You could just take a seat, please. Pick up these remotes. Nope, nope, this is your seat. Nope. Sit. Nope. Nope, take a seat. Nope, nope, take a... Nope, nope. Okay, fine. Oh, that's too bad. He wouldn't take a seat. Show that to... Okay, I'll do it later. Anyway. I'll do that later. Anyway. Cars 2. Cars 2 was first announced in April 2008. You'll have to do it either now or tomorrow. I'll probably get to it tomorrow, but anyway. If I don't tonight, definitely tomorrow. Now anyway, Cars 2 was first announced in April 2011 or April 2008. Let me start over because I managed to fuck up a sentence with very few words. Me when I accidentally spread misinformation. Cars 2 was first announced in April 2008, there we go, with a tentative summer 2012 release date, which was later moved up to summer of 11. I'm so dyslexic. Lasseter was confirmed to be returning as director, while Lewis was designated as co-director in June of 2010. The film's story was conceived by Lasseter while he was traveling around the world promoting the first film. Yeah, that checks out. Michael Giacchino, who I'm going to come out and admit took me way too long to figure out how to say his name, composed the film's score with artists such as Weezer, Robbie Williams, aka A Monkey, stay tuned. Also, I see that light counter just went up to 2, I'm terrified. Anyway, Brad Paisley and Benabar, I think that's how you say that, contributed tracks to the film. I think that's how you say that. Anyway, this was the final Pixar film to be animated with their old software system, Marionette, before officially being replaced by Presto in 2012. Kind of a passing of the torch film. Anyway, with an estimated budget of $200 million, Cars 2 is one of the most expensive films ever made. Do I even need to show me what? Didn't think you would actually get here, Spider, but yeah, I'll just send you the clip. Sylv clipped a funny. Oh yeah, Miles' Axelrod was the most obvious twist of all time, next to Molly being the inside man from... No. I'd say the only twist more obvious than both would be Rex Dangervest in the Lego Movie 2. At least Zurg in Lightyear was less obvious, and that's still the same thing as Rex Dangervest. The Lego Movie 2, stay tuned. 2, anyway. Cars 2, oh, I want you to, yeah. Cars 2. Cars 2 premiered at the El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles on June 18th, 2011, and it released in the US shortly thereafter on June 24th. In Disney Digital 3D and IMAX 3D, as well as traditional two-dimensional and IMAX form. Will you do me a favor? What's the favor? No, just... I mean, normally I would get a little pissy at being interrupted in the middle, but... Just what's the favor? And if I'm able to do it, I'll do it. Only if I'm able to. Run in place and look behind you occasionally. Look, my God. Run in place and look behind you and occasionally look like you're running away from the police. Ad lib at your beach. Move this out the way. Also, that's appropriate. Shit. Fuck. Fuck the police. Fuck. Yes, I did just fall. That's pretty good, thank you. Thank you. Anyway. Excuse me. Cars 2, despite receiving Discord. Okay. Cars 2, Discord 2. If you insist. If you insist, implying I fall nefariously. Okay. Fuck the police. Yeah, busting my ass on camera, the funny clip. Let's put this back on our set. Please tell me you left in when I fell. Yep. Left in when I tripped and fell. That's funny. Alright, back to yes. Show me that clip, please. Alright. 1 second. Watch the whole thing. Okay. He didn't clarify. Anyway, I'm going to send the clip that way. Okay, back to yes. Despite receiving mixed reviews from critics, Cars 2 continued Pixar's win. Jesus Christ. Mother text. Anyway, despite receiving mixed reviews from critics, Cars 2 continued Pixar's winning streak of box office success, although it still got mixed reviews, let's just face it. RIP, yes. Also, I'll watch the whole thing because I honestly... Wait. No, anyway, my brain just went south. Anyway. But yeah. It became the... Oh, I almost forgot to read here. It grossed $559 million worldwide, becoming the 10th... LOL, you won't do it. Okay, fine, I'll watch the rest of that clip. Let me go back to the clip. I mean, I only had like this many seconds remaining, so we just skip to the part. Oh. Okay, I thought you left in when I opened the door and said that I fell, but never mind, you didn't clip that part. Whoops. Okay, back to the movie. Anyway. It became the 10th highest grossing film of 2011 and the highest grossing film of the Cars trilogy. No, where Copper runs on. Oh, wait. Hang on. He didn't run off. He walked over, but he didn't. Yeah, he didn't run off. He just walked over. But then again, you didn't read that. Hang on, sorry. Oh, watch the whole thing. Watch the whole thing. Okay. Sorry, didn't read that. Totally missed it. Anyway. Yeah, would you believe the weakest film of the trilogy became the highest grossing? It's funny how that worked out. Anyway. The film was nominated for Best Animated Feature Film at the 69th Dudes. Oh wait, what does it say? Next, and you don't have to move the camera. Hang on. Wait, for real? Hang on. Next, and you don't have to move the camera. Stand in place and act like you're in a prison cell. Complain that you're in a cell and... Hang on. Complain that you're... Complain... Fucking shit. Complain that you're in a cell and that you did nothing wrong, then make a joke about being in this... Okay. Even though you don't want to clip anymore, but okay. God, I just had to end up in a prison cell. Especially with this idiot. Fuck my life. Best I got. Anyway. It was nominated for Best Animated Feature Film at the 69th Dudes Golden Globe Awards, but lost to The Adventures of Tintin. Stay tuned. And then, of course, Cars 3 was released June 16th, 2017. You had more enthusiasm like Jim Carrey, insane. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Thank you for the clarification. Now I'll clip. Okay. And then I think I'm probably done for right now. Because I've already been interrupted enough, but not the bad kind of interruption. God, I just had to end up in a prison cell. Especially with this idiot. Fuck my life. It's best I got. Again, yeah. Copper. Hi. Hi, copy. Gay pussy. I'll take it. Okay. As long as it's good enough to take. Sorry if it's not exactly up to snuff, but yeah. Sorry. But clearly, yeah. Okay, back to the movie. Yes. What about that motherfucking reception? Well, we scroll down here. There it is. On Rotten Tomatoes, yippee! 39% of 221 critic reviews are positive, with an average rating of 5.5 out of 10, 0 to 50 and 4, midorific. The consensus reads, Cars 2 is as visually appealing as any other Pixar production, but all that dazzle can't disguise the truly rusty storytelling under the hood. It does not say truly. I don't know why I added that, but it does fit. Anyway, it is the lowest rated Pixar film on the site to date and the only one to earn a Rotten certification. Damn. Discord, okay. I love how we're just clipping the whole episode. Little kid me thought this was the greatest Cars movie. I don't honestly recall what little kid... Actually, I meant teen. Yeah, teen. Yeah. Teen Nick. Anyway, what I was saying. I don't recall what little me thought, but we'll save that for the next minute. Anyway. Another review... Oh god, this is a word I struggle with. Aggregator? I don't know. Metacritic, which assigns a weighted average score to reviews from mainstream critics, gave the film an average score of 57 out of 100, based on 38 critics. What did No. No. Don't. Anyway. Indicate 0 to 50 and 4. I did say that. Anyway. gave the film an average grade of 57 out of 100 based on 38 critics, 0 to 50 and 4. Little bit. No. Indicating mixed or average reviews. See, you done made Copper go to bed. Anyway. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A- on an A+ to F scale. Yippee! The original Cars was not greeted with exceptional warmth, said the New York Times, but the sequel generated Pixar's first truly negative response. They are completely right about that. Critics generally criticized the focus on Mater and felt that the film lacked warmth and charm, while also feeling that the... Whoops. Fall on the floor, but before you do, say moments before disaster. Whoa, you said my... Damn it. Hi. We're talking about Cars 2. That's what we're talking about. Little Bilge. Let me pick this up and then I'll continue on with my pathetic little existence. Son of a bitch. Just have to roll behind there. Okay, there we go. Alright, sorry about that. Cars 2, awesome. Okay, thank you. Thank you for sticking to the topic. Anyway. Back to what I was saying. Critics generally criticized the focus on Mater and felt that the film lacked warmth and charm found in the first film, while also feeling that the film was made as an exercise in target marketing and was too violent to be given a G rating. Oh, fall on the floor, but before you do, say, moments before disaster. Anyway, reviewing the film for the Wall Street Journal, Joe Morgenstern wrote, also LMAO, funny. Anyway, Joe Morgenstern wrote, "This frenzied sequel seldom gets beyond mediocrity." I rate it a solid 6 out of 10. Okay. I'm actually a little impressed. You actually have something to say about the topic for once. Anyway. But yeah, that's completely true. Entertainment Weekly critic Owen Gleiberman, there's a name we haven't heard in a while, said that Cars 2 is a movie so stuffed with fun that it went right off the rails. What on earth was the gifted director mogul John Lasseter thinking, that he wanted kids to come out of this movie was more ADD? That came out all crooked, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. As I say, I have a friend who wants to bang Finn McMissile. Bang their head into the pavement, please. What's that one? No, I'm not going to quote it. Anyway. Although Leonard Matlin of IndieWire claimed that he had such a high regard for Pixar and its creative team led by John Lasseter, he said he found the plot confusing. Sorry for the interruption, but as a small request, I would honestly love to see you do a review of Stand By Me. Okay, that's a movie I can touch. That's a request I can get behind. I don't know when I'll get to it. There's still many more I would like to cover, but I'll take that one into consideration. That's a good request. Anyway. Found the plot confusing. Definitely not Monday. What are we doing on... No worries, but what are we doing on Monday? No, did I forget something on Monday, or... I don't recall you... I'm not trying to get bitchy, I just don't recall... Oh, never mind. Monday is birthday. I value your input, yeah. Anyway. You look over with such disgust. Anyway. He found the plot confusing and felt that Mater's voice... Gas's birthday? Yep. Anyway, felt that Mater's voice was annoying, saying that he'd rather listen to chalk on a blackboard than spend nearly 2 hours with Toe Mater. Party in the CIA. Anyway, what I was saying. Conversely, Peter Travers of Rolling Stone gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4, and said that the sequel is a tire-burning burst of action and fun with a beating heart under its hood. That's a way to describe it. He also praised its fluid script and called it a winner. Oh God, it's the return. Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert was the most effusive of the more positive... Oh, I dare you to run past the camera screaming. I came in like... Okay, well, considering not everyone has gone to bed yet, I'm not going to scream it, so I'm going to do that, but funnier. I came in like Rick. Again, most everyone is still awake, so not screaming tonight. We should all wear silly hats. Okay. Anyway, what was I? Sorry for disappointment. Everybody is still awake for the most part. Anyway, back to the movie. Roger Ebert, our totally beloved, was the most effusive of the more positive reviews, praising Lasseter's channeling of childhood playtime for the film's spirit and writing at a time when some... Alolan Raichu, yep. Okay. Roger Ebert was the most abusive. I said effuse. I didn't say abusive. I said... Okay, anyway. What I was saying. At a time when some grown-up action films are relentlessly shallow and stupid, here is a movie with such complexity that even the cars sometimes have to pause and explain it to themselves. I know you didn't say abusive, me just funny. Okay, what does this say? Okay. I did read that, I just didn't read it out loud, and I was making sure I didn't misread it. Anyway, this is slowly starting to take a tip. Anyway. Justin Chang of Variety commented that the rare sequel, or commented, it's all in fun. Anyway, Justin Chang... The fact I didn't know what that meant for the longest time. Anyway, but now I know. The more you know. Anyway, I seriously have never heard that term prior. But anyway, Justin Chang of Variety commented the rare sequel that not only improves upon, but retroactively justifies its predecessor. Are you sure? Anyway. Ascent only in Ohio. Hello, my... Oh, no. Anyway, Cars 2. That's what we're talking about. I'm not repeating myself. Anyway, a central vein of many negative reviews was the... Oh, God. Anyway, a central vein of many negative reviews... Excuse me. Cars 2. There we go. There's something funny. Anyway. Now, please keep it that way. Anyway, a central vein of many negative reviews was the theory that the Walt Disney Company forced Cars 2 into production at Pixar out of greed in order to drive merchandise sales. Anyway, what I was saying. Lasseter vehemently, I think that's how you... Alolan Raichu is huggable. Yeah, this is slowly taking a tip. Anyway, I don't even know what the phrase taking a tip means, but it's doing it. Anyway, Lassiter vehemently denied these claims, which he attributed to people who don't know the facts rushing to judge. Anyway, some theorized that the vitriol, I think that's how you say that. Well, that's only because Stand By Me is a movie I can actually talk about on the show. Don't take that as a sign that I'll do everything if you ask me nice enough. It's just depending on the film. Alolan Raichu fat. I'm just going to keep going. But yes, they can surf on. Anyway, some theorize that the vitriol was less about the film, but more about Pixar's broadened focus at the time to sequels. Believable. The New York Times reported that although one negatively reviewed film would not be enough to scratch the studio, the commentary did, however, dent morale at the studio, which until then had enjoyed an unbroken and perhaps unprecedented run of critical acclaim. If you look at let's say, Greg! 3 times. But anyway, Japanese toilet scene. You mean the dumbest scene in the whole movie? Oh, funniest, but still the dumbest. Not like I said, the dumbest, but still the wasabi. That one too. In fact, I think that one maybe a little bit more. Oil piss. Japan reminds me of, yeah. Anyway, all right, let's scroll back up here to our next little portion. But what about the pistachio ice cream? Yep. But what about that motherfucking lawsuit? Because this movie got into a lawsuit. Well, in March of 2011, Jake Mandeville Anthony, a UK screenwriter, sued Disney and Pixar, allegedly claiming copyright infringement. Best Yasso flake? Anyway, he sued Disney and Pixar, claiming copyright infringement and breach of implied contract. In his complaint, he alleged that Cars 1 and Cars 2 are based in part by work that he had submitted in the early 90s, and he sought an injunction to stop the release of Cars 2 and requested actual or statutory damages. Hang on. I never knew about this. Like, what? If you do a food review, do Yasso. I have never heard of Yasso. Also, they are big. I've never heard of, like, huh? Anyway, back to Cars 2, please. On May 13th, 2011, however, Disney responded to the lawsuit. This guy had the power to stop Cars 2, and he failed. Yet he had one job. Yet. Anyway, what I was saying. On May... Oh, sounds like they wanted money, and stole that guy's... Now, there's a variation I can get behind. Anyway, Big Fat Liar. Yeah, that really is the plot of Big Fat Liar. That's exactly the plot of Big Fat Liar. Except he did not win. Bro tried to do Bro tried to... Yep. Anyway, on May 13th, 2011, Disney responded to the lawsuit, denying each and every one of plaintiffs' legal claims concerning the purported copyright infringement and substantial similarity of the parties' respective works. 0 out of 10, he lost. He forgot to dye John Lasseter blue. Anyway, On July 27, 2011, a month after the film's release, the lawsuit was dismissed by a district court judge who, in her ruling, wrote that the defendants have sufficiently shown that the parties' respective works are not substantially similar in their protectable elements as a matter of law. So I guess what that means is maybe they did submit something similar to Pixar, but it wasn't one-to-one. That's the vibe that I get. Maybe they submitted a film that was similar, or they pitched a film that was similar in premise, but in other words, big fat liar moment denied, pretty much. But that's what I'm thinking happened. Based on the fact it was dismissed so easily, I feel like maybe it was similar to Cars, but not one-to-one. But anyway, when the film released in theaters, by the way, it was preceded by the Toy Story short, stay tuned again, yep. When the film was released in theaters, by the way, it was preceded by the Toy Story short, Hawaiian Vacation. By the way, if you want, we need to redo Big Fat Liar, yeah. By the way, if you want my brief review of Hawaiian Vacation, it's pretty funny, it's pretty funny, it's pretty funny, and that's all I can say about Hawaiian Vacation. It's pretty funny. Besides, I still have more to say about Hawaiian Vacation once we cover the rest of the Toy Story shorts. Hawaiian Vacation was... I mean, it's funny, but it's not anything to write home. Delicious. Anyway. But what about that motherfucking reception? Well, or not reception. I already read the reception. I'm stupid. Let me rephrase that. I already read the reception. What I meant to say, what about home video? I'm tired. Well, the film was released by Buena Vista Home Entertainment on DVD. Read a little bit. Okay. Hang on. I shoves a foot-long honey garlic sausage. Don't my little throat tonight. Day and some crackers and cheese, Dave. Thanks for asking. When all of the sudden, Larry. Evil Larry. Anyway, the film was released on... Okay, let me try again. The film was released by Buena Vista Home Entertainment on DVD, regular Blu-ray... I said that was hot. I missed that. Hot. Yes, hot. Anyway. DVD, Blu-ray 3D, and digital platforms on November 1st, 2011. Just in time for the holiday season that year. Anyway, the physical release... Sausage moment, yep. The physical release came in 4 different packages. A single-disc DVD-only edition, a 2-disc Blu-ray, or a 2-disc DVD and Blu-ray combo pack. I don't like sausage. I don't eat sausage. That's hot Paris Hilton. I don't know shit about Paris Hilton, other than Paris Hilton. I like hot dog. Anyway, a 5-disc combo pack, Blu-ray, DVD, Blu-ray 3D digital copy, and a whopping 11-disc 3-movie collector's set. Is that a pink sheep? Yeah, you missed when I put that on the set last night. I did that at the end of the previous episode. You must have missed that. 11-disc Cars 2. Nope. I said 11-disc 3-movie collector's set, which included Cars, Cars 2, and Mater's Tall Tales. So it included the first, second, and Mater's Tall Tales. Cars 3 was not out yet. Anyway. Scrolling down here. Okay. Also gotcha. Yep. Okay. Also, I hate mustard. I don't eat any of those. But anyway. What I was saying. Okay. Cars 2. Oh, ketchup. Okay. This is one of your better reviews. Well, I mean, only because I haven't been interrupted like 76 times. Anyway, Cars 2 sold a total, of 1,983,374. Please stop. Okay. I also hate mustard and relish. Ketchup is my go-to. You can tell I'm a Pikachu. This is one of your better reviews. Sweet relish too. You like that? Anyway, Cars 2. We're not here to talk about food. Cars 2 sold a total. Fuck. Cars 2 sold a total of 1 million, not 1,000. Anyway, 1 million DVD units during its opening week on the format, generating 31.24 million and claiming first place. You should not have said that. You should not. Anyway. It also finished on the top spot of the Blu-ray chart during its first week, selling 1.76 million units and generating 44.47. Do I have your permission to buy Cars 2? Yes, you do. Cream corn. Anyway, generating 44.57 million. I can't get it without your You now have my consent. Anyway. There, you have consent. Now, anyway. Its Blu-ray share of home video was 47%, indicating an unexpectedly major shift of sales from DVD to Blu-ray. Although Blu-ray 3D contributed to this, accounting for 17% of the total sales. Okay, boring part done. Finally, I think if we say, well, again, They Live is another movie I can do. Again, there are movies I will review, but there are quite a few I will not. They Live is one that I will eventually do. As long as you don't, repeatedly spam it. If you, request it every now and again, sparingly, I will do it. WWE Studio. Nope. Anyway, finally, on September 10th, 2019, just 2 months before the release of Disney Plus, shut up, Cars 2 was released on 4K Ultra HD. Yes. 1 second. Oh, wait. Okay. Anyway, that's a novel. That is a novel. You reviewed Jingle All the Way too, right? Oh yeah, I did. Anyway, what I was trying to say. Oh look, it came full circle. Okay, but you reviewed Jingle All the Way too, right? Santino Morel. Yeah, I remember that. I do remember. Thanks for refreshing my memory. Now back to, yes. Anyway, but in September 2019, it was released on 4K Ultra HD. Okay, what does it say? We know two movies you won't do. What are some other movies you won't do? The two up there. Okay. I'm going to give it... I know I'm probably opening up Pandora's box by answering the question, but I'm still going to answer the question, just because it's at least a legitimate question. I'm not going to give a full list, just a few highlights. Okay. Mufasa the Lion King, which came out this past year. Breakfast Club, noted. Anyway. Granted, I'll probably review Mufasa eventually, but the reason why I don't plan to anytime soon is just because it's not really... There's nothing really of note. Other than it's kind of rough CGI, Mufasa will be reviewed eventually next... Yeah. But still, eventually. But there's nothing of note. It's just the one word, mid. I mean, I guess I liked it well enough, but it's not really worth talking about for a while. Another one... Oh. I do not like the one where the lion got punished. I assume that means Michael J. Fox. Mid. Anyway. Another movie that I do not intend to review. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It's escaping me. Oh. Oh. No, it means Maxwell J. Never mind. I'm stupid. When I see MJF, I think Michael J. Fox. Anyway. What I was saying. But then again, you don't know. You're right, I don't. Anyway. Another movie that I do not intend to review. So sorry. It's okay. Anyway. MJF was the man preaching. Anyway. Another movie that I do not intend to review, at least for the foreseeable future, would... Alright. Excuse me, trying to catch my breath. Michael J. Yeah. Anyway. Another movie that I do not intend to review for a while is Get Him to the Greek, starring Russell Brand. Listen, there's a certain other movie featuring Russell Brand that I do want to talk about, but Get Him to the Greek is not that movie. And the only reason why I don't want to talk about it is just because there's nothing I can really add. It's a Russell Brand movie, and it's aged poorly because Russell Brand is in it. So there really isn't much commentary I could add to it. If there is a list, please put on breakfast. Okay. Anyway. And the last movie that I do not intend to ever... See, typically, if I don't intend to review a movie, I'll get to it eventually. But this last movie... Russell Brand penis. Yeah, anyway. What I was trying to say, okay, I read it. This next movie, I will never review. This movie goes in the never box. I am never, ever reviewing it. Cuties. Cuties was a Netflix original movie. If I remember correctly, it came out in 2020. If you know anything about Cuties, what is Cuties? Oh, you know what Cuties is. You know what it is. Don't act like you don't. That disgusting filth that Netflix picked up. You know the one. Oh, yes, you do. And I know I'm probably going to hell for searching... Don't be rude. Okay. And I know I'm probably going to hell for searching this movie. Okay. You know Cuties. That movie... No. I'm explaining. You know that movie, that filth, Cuties? Yeah, that one. I am never reviewing this movie. Never. I legitimately do not know the film. Be glad. It's about a bunch of little kids working in a profession that they should not be. So I'm never reviewing it. Don't make me. I'm never going to. Uh-oh. Yep. You. Yep. So yeah, that one goes in the never pile. I'm never talking about that one. Delete that off your phone. I will later. I will. In fact, I'll delete it in like the next 2 minutes. Alright. Back to Cars 2. So what do I think of Cars 2? Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, yes, I do have a copy of it on DVD. But no, I can't show you the disc right now. It's in the player. Player later. Okay, I'll do it now. But yeah, Cars 2. Okay. Doing it. There we go. It is gone. Anyway. You have cute... No. Plus, it never got a physical release. I must be lucky that I never heard of it. Yes. Now back to Cars 2. Cars 2. Well, because I don't fucking have net. That explains it. Anyway. Cars 2. Well, it's since been removed from Netflix, but anyway. Following all the backlash. Only took too late, but anyway. Cars 2. Good. Anyway. Cars 2 is... Oh. I mean, probably, but anyway. Cars 2... Okay, well, this is coming off of Cars 1. What do I think of Cars 2 by was removed from Netflix after mentioning... Funny. Anyway. But what do I think of Cars 2? coming off of Cars 1. Well, if they wanted to make a feature-length Mater movie, then they succeeded. If they wanted to make a sequel to Cars, they failed miserably. Lists are bad besides the list with Breakfast Club, yeah. No, but if they wanted to make, if they wanted to make a Mater movie, oh, Cars 2 gets a 4. I don't hate it, but this was the bizarre. Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, you know what? That says it best, and that's how I'm going to review it. Cars 2, I don't think is a bad movie, but it's a bad sequel. Let me explain. If you look at Cars 2 as just a movie, as its own thing, it's not that bad. It's inoffensive. But as a sequel to Cars, that's when it kind of falls apart. But it literally doesn't fit in the... It really doesn't. Like, typically the third movie in the trilogy is the weakest. Sometimes the third is the worst, but in this case it's the second one that is. I enjoyed it, but it was barely above it. Yeah, that's a fair opinion. Okay, you can watch Cars 1 and Cars 3, skip 2, and you will miss nothing. Yep, and that does bring... Okay, I know I should probably wait until the Cars 3 review, but I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. In Cars 2, Mater gets a new dent, and he says he'll treasure it because he never gets his dents fixed. In Cars 3, you will notice that the dent he's referring to is inexplicably and mysteriously gone. Now, why would this be the case if he never gets his dents fixed? Well, truthfully, I don't know. I want to believe that they amended the canon to remove Cars 2 as much as they could, but in actuality, I think it was just a simple animation error that just went unnoticed. Because Cars 2 was rendered non-canon and just made... I mean, probably, but again, I feel like it was also a continuity error. I'm not trying to Fritz the Cat is a... I don't know much about Cars 2 was meant... Okay. But I feel like it was also a case of a continuity error. The entire movie... Okay, I'm giving my take. I'm not trying to canonize Cars 2 when I say this. But I feel like it was also just a case of a Talk about Miles Act. I'm getting there. But I feel like it was also just a case of a continuity error. Like, maybe the dent was supposed to be there, but then it somehow wasn't, but they just never bothered to fix it. Anyway, talk about Miles Axelrod. Yeah, we did that earlier, but we're going to reiterate. Sir Miles Axelrod is the most predictable villain of all time. Predictable twist villain. Hang on. But yeah, most predictable twist villain of all time. Alright. I say... Molly the maid from Home Alone 4 says hi. Yep. Alright, now we're going to take a brief intermission. I got to go use the bathroom, so we'll be right back after this brief bathroom break. Okay. The Japanese toilet scene. Okay, hang on. There were parts I liked. The Japanese toilet scene, Wasabi, and Big... Yeah, those were all pretty good. Anyway, I got to go to the bathroom, so we'll be right back after this bathroom break. On Nick. Be right back. now back to the show. What the hell? Okay. Sorry. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I am not reading all of that. No. That's... Jesus. Jesus Christ. But yeah, there are many drapes in this room. Now back to the show. If you're wondering why that one's there, by the way, it's because that specific window, the sun would put like a glare on the TV, so that was put there to stop the glare. Anyway, back to back to the Shabuzi. Okay. But yeah, Cars 2. Yeah, there are parts of Cars 2 that I do like, but most of the parts that I do like, for prime viewing pleasure, yes, but most of the parts of Cars 2 that I do like, I did YouTube post for the first, oh, that's cool. Anyway, you have a lot of windows in one room. Well, this was originally a sunroom. Go check post. Okay, anyway... seems a bit I mean, you should really be getting on to the architect and not me. I didn't build all of this. I'm not Jack Black and I'm not Chris Pratt. Now, anyway, but, what I was saying, but, anyway. But there are parts of Cars 2 that I do like. Blame the architect. The Matrix Reloaded states, yeah. Anyway. Tenacious D. Stop. Okay, anyway. But there... Shit. Okay, there we go. But there are parts of Cars 2 that I do like. Most note... Sprigga-Whopper. Yep, Sprigga-Whopper. Apple sauce. Anyway. Okay, but there are parts of Cars 2 that I do like. But most of the parts of it that I do like are the ones that are really fucking stupid, not gonna lie. Sorry. Oh yeah, here's the disc I wasn't able to show a minute ago. Hang on a minute. Here's the disc I wasn't able to show a minute ago because it was in the player. Alright, anyway, back to the movie, but... Also, show copper. Okay, 1 second. Yes, that is an EP. Anyway, would you call yourself a hoarder? I mean... That question kind of answers itself. Alright, show Sprigga-Whopper. Okay. Hang on, I'm showing it. I'm Sprigga-Whopper. Apple sauce. Okay, here. Sprigga-Whopper. Spriggy-Whoppy. Okay, anyway. Spriggy, yep. Alright, what I was going to say. But yeah, there are racist weed cat, yep. But there are parts of Cars... Jesus Christ. Sorry, I'm securing our funny image. What's it say? Is that Pikachu riding a horse in the background? No, that's actually Pikachu, Eevee, and a dog. Uncle Ben, what happened? Finn McMissile, but... Anyway. But yeah, that's what that is in the background. Anyway, what I was saying, But yeah, there are parts of Cars 2 that I really like. Although I will admit most of the scenes I do really like are the ones that are incredibly damn stupid. Again, the ice cream. Uncle Ben, what happened, Squid Game? Stay tuned. Yep. Like, literally all the parts of Cars 2, Uncle Ben's Rise, Peter cries. Yeah. Severance. I don't mean this as an insult. I know it sounds like one, but I really don't mean it as an insult, but it seriously feels like Severance did not exist until like a not a literal minute, but seriously it feels like it didn't exist until like this past week. Papa wrote. Anyway, but actually, no. Cut my life into pieces. Anyway, but Cars 2. While there are parts of the movie I do like, it's mostly the stupid shit that I like. And then on top of that, as much as I do like those stupid parts of Cars 2, Uncle Ben, what happened, Copper? But no. Anyway, Cars 2, if you want my honest review, it is the worst of the Cars trilogy. Uncle Ben, what happened, Daisy? Anyway, oh, it's fun, I'll admit, but it's still the worst one out of the three of them by a lot. Like, I'd say the tier list goes 1, 3, 2 in that order. I mean, do I still like Cars 2? I do. I do rewatch it, and I do find it nostalgic. Uncle Ben, what happened? Insert Navy SEAL copy pot. Yeah. But does that make Cars 2 a good movie or a good sequel? Well, good movie, yes. Good sequel, no. Rip and I don't even know. The black sheep of the... It really... Okay, for once you're actually speaking some sense tonight. But yeah, it really is the black sheep of the trilogy. And of the franchise. It's like not quite... okay. Yeah, Lil Bill speaking English. Anyway. But it really is the black sheep of the trilogy. Aunt Jemima will be missed. Yes. I don't know. I'm sure you get what I'm saying. But I guess I would rate Cars 2. Okay, I really don't want to do this, because I do find it, justice for Aunt Jemima, yep. I really don't want to do this, because I do find the movie nostalgic and fun, but I'm gonna give it a 5. Maybe a 4.5, either 4.5 or 5. I don't know which, but somewhere in that ballpark. It's inoffensive, and it is fun, I will admit, but it's not a good sequel. That comes after it, but stay tuned. I'll give it a 4 point. You know what? I think I'll go with that. 4.9. That seems fair. That seems fair. Low, but fair. But how does its video game tie-in stack up? Well, I'm not going to go over the full release history. Oh, it loses 0.1 because it's a disappointing nothing. Yeah, really. The bastard child of the family for sure. Aunt Jemima. Okay, funny. Yeah, how does Cars 2's video game tie-in stack up? Well... Wait, okay. I'll wait. Tell your story, then I'll talk. Tell your story, then I'll talk. Whoops. Oh. I never actually played it, but imagine if Twisted Metal was for kids. I feel like if that was the case, it would become Fortnite all over again. I've never played Twisted Metal either, but just picturing that in my head. Okay, wait. Funny, because Cars 2, the game, actually is great. Sorry, I missed that, but yeah. Sorry I missed that comment. But yeah, Cars 2, the game, well, let me add, on console, I imagine is great. I don't own any of the console versions. I only have the PSP version. But on PSP, it's pretty good. I imagine the console version, of course, is even better, but the PSP one's pretty good too. I think Cars 1 on PSP is still better, but this one's pretty fun too. Well, that's how that stacks up. The console version is racing and vehicular combat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the PSP version is just the racing, which, hey, that's cool too. It would be nice if the combat versions were in the portable version, but this is Sony we're talking about. PSP versions are wildly inconsistent. PSP version is mid. I mean, it's fun, but not as good as the console version. Anyway, what I was saying, but let's just get something going in the background. But anyway, whoops. Okay, but what I was trying to say. Okay, but Cars 2 on consoles actually got ratings in the 8s. That's how good. Yeah. I do know that the console version is received very positively. So there's that. There's that. But otherwise, I'll have to track down Cars 2 on any of the home consoles, but do you have a lamp or something? If you're asking about, how does a bad movie get a great game? I don't know, but that honestly, I'm pretty sure happens more often than you would initially think. I mean, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but I imagine that happens quite a bit. Oh, what does it say? X-Men Origins Wolverine, I guess. Alright, now to answer your question. If you're talking about the lighting situation, that game on PS3 and Xbox, yeah. Anyway, if you're asking about the lighting situation, ceiling fan light over here, and then just a separate lamp over here. It's a very crude setup, and it kind of puts like a perfect dark spot in the middle of the room, but if it works, it works. Anyway, but yeah, I'll have to track down Cars 2 on the consoles, but I'll give the PSP version it's pretty good out of 10. Yeah, not even a number, just it's pretty good. Maybe not as good as it would be on PS3, Xbox, etc., but it's pretty good. Alright, before we continue, you may think of me as financially irresponsible. I like to think of myself as a leech. Honestly, a leech is probably what you bitches see me as. Anyway, before we continue, it's time for the funny image, even though it's not midnight, but we started earlier, so funny image. This motion picture has been rated XXXXXXXXXXXXXXX. Must be a pretty bad motion picture if it gets that many X's. There's our funny image. Cuties got that rating. Yep, Cuties was the one to get that rating. Cuties rated N for nobody. Yep. We need a viewer's call. Okay, that I genuinely cannot promise. Oh, I can call no, do not. Do not. Not tonight. Hang on. It works great, and thanks for explaining. It's just hard to picture since we never got the room. Okay. Anyway, what I was trying to say. Hope you enjoy your eardrums. I heard nothing, your audio turned off, damn. Okay, spoiler alert, what I did was yelled into the phone. That's what I did. I yelled into your phone. Or into the phone, not your... That's what I did, I yelled into it. Anyway, okay. Now I have a show coming on in about... Spoiler alert, I'm already dead. Anyway, alright. I got a show coming on in a few minutes, so I do need to wrap this up soon. But before I wrap it up, it's time to showcase one last little thing. Has nothing to do with cars, but we're going to show it off anyway. Ugh! Anyway, I heard that in real time. Good. Anyway. Alright. I have a show coming on in a few minutes, so I gotta wrap this up shortly. But, like, I gotta wrap this up in the next couple minutes, because, again, I have a show. It was delayed on video, though. Funny. Was that your Riz? No, that was just me trying to be funny. Anyway. Okay. Good God. Anyway. Hang on. I legitimate... Yeah, I know. Anyway. What I was gonna... Hang on. SNL is not it. Yes, it is tonight. Yes, it is. Anyway. What I was trying to say. But yeah. I got SNL in a few minutes, so I do gotta wrap this up shortly. But before we wrap up for tonight... My foot is itching. Okay. Before we wrap up tonight, well, technically to cancel the show. No! Anyway, we learned that I'm not done. I'm almost done, but Jesus Christ. You want the show to go on way longer than it needs to, and you want the show over with. Good God. The duality of man. Now, anyway, let's try this again. Let's do a watch. No, let's not. I'm not trying to be rude, but I would like to watch this show on my own time. Please just let me do this last segment and let me finish. Oh my God. Anyway. Okay, this has nothing to do with cars, but we're going to wrap up this episode with this next segment that I like to call, What Financial Mistakes Did I Make Today? Well, this requires a bit of context. So previously on Wonder After Dark, we talked about a game called Disney Infinity. Now, for those who don't know what Disney Infinity was, it was a Toys to Life video game, much in the same style as, say, Skylanders or Lego Dimensions, which was developed by Avalanche Software and published by Disney Interactive. You know what I like more than... Hang on. You know what I like more than giving BJs? Spending money. Let's see what I got. I would be a great co-host. This reminds me of me. Jesus Christ. Anyway. But yeah. Disney Infinity was a Toys to Life video game developed by Avalanche Software and developed by Avalanche, published by Disney. Anyway. Disney Infinity ran for 3 versions, and then it was canceled because the Toys to Life fad was dying out. Anyway, I was at Goodwill earlier, and I saw this that I'm about to pick up, chilling on the shelf, for just $10, and I figured, you know what, I've been on kind of a kick lately, plus it would make a good topic for the show in the future, so you know what, for $10, I'll pick it up. Disney Infinity 3.0 for the Wii U. Yep, this was at Goodwill for just $10. Disney Infinity 3.0 for Wii U. Also read, God, you don't listen. I was at Goodwill earlier, the last words. Anyway, but yeah, found this at Goodwill earlier. Disney Infinity 3.0 starter pack for Nintendo Wii U. This was the third and final version of the game that was released. I'm not recapping the whole history of Infinity. We already did an episode about that. But I will say I picked this up, 1, because I never had 3.0. 2, for $10, that's a great price. And 3, I mean, great price. I have a Wii U. I've been on a kick. I think this would make a great topic for the show in the future. I might as well. It lines up perfectly. What does it say? Wonder After Dark starter pack includes insanity, frustration, interruptions, and 5%. Yep, you just hit the nail on the dick with that one. But anyway, I'm not going to unbox this tonight, and no, I genuinely won't. Do not make me. Oh yeah, I will say, yeah, the box is admittedly a little beat up, but if I open Lego Dimensions and play it, I'm going to open this up and play it. That's just how my brain works. Plus, you know, this being a version of the game I never had. What does it say? Dragon Ball Z starter pack. 55% screaming, 40% fights, 5% plot. That's pretty much it. Anyway, but yeah. Oh, and yes, I am aware it's incredibly ironic that I pick up a Star Wars thing when I'm at a time that I'm done talking about it. But yeah, we might showcase this on a future episode. Oh yeah, and the other thing I found at Goodwill today, though maybe not as cool, Lego... Oh, I have a few boxes in my... I have beat a few... I never said that I beat up the box. I never said that. I said I have beat up a few, realizing she has more Star... Yep. Okay, but addressing what you just said, I have beat a few boxes up in my life. That's not what I said. I did not say that I beat this up. I got this at Goodwill. It was beat up. Where in there did I say I beat this up? Nowhere. I didn't say that. You greatly misinterpreted. Then again, this show is only 5% people listening to what I'm actually... I once beat the shit out of my side table while I... Yeah, tell the story and then I'll show it. I'm just waiting for this story to finish. I once woke up with my hand bleeding and my side table knocked over. All my clothes were on the floor. To this day, I can't explain what. And when I say boxes, I mean, God damn it, shut up. Anyway. Moving on, but yeah. There's that. So yeah, in the future, now that I actually have Infinity 3.0, stay tuned. Oh yeah, and the other thing that I got at Goodwill today, though maybe not, oh, I guess I had a dream where I beat, I'm reading, I guess I had a dream where I beat someone in my dream up, and whoever that was the side, probably. Now anyway, and then the other thing that I got at Goodwill today, though maybe not as cool, Lego The Incredibles for PS4. Yeah, I'm still on my Lego game bullshit. This is what I consider to be the anomaly of the Lego video games. The modern games, specifically. Lego Incredibles on PS4. Stay tuned. Yep. I mean, it's not a bad game, but so many good finds, you should do thrift. Yeah. Anyway, what I was trying to say, excuse me, but not a bad game, but definitely an anomaly. If you know this game at all, and if you know the Lego video games, period, then you'll know why I call Lego Incredibles an anomaly. Not even a bad game, just an anomaly. And if you know why it is, then it should make sense. Yeah. But then again, I doubt any of you were listening to a damn word I just said. You need to... Okay. You've reiterated that enough, sir. I did listen. Okay, well, you listened. Oh. Did you look at the disc before? But, in this case, I did not need to because, one, still sealed, hasn't been opened. Albeit knocked around, but still sealed. This one, still sealed, hasn't been opened. So, no, I did not need to check the discs. They are still sealed, haven't been opened yet. The discs are often behind the counter. Well, I mean, in other stores, yes. But in this case, these items were still sealed, so here it... Yeah. Okay, yeah, but that's the last segment we're doing tonight. Plus, I think my boot... Yeah. Plus, I think this episode's gone on long enough. I mean, 92 minutes... Anyway. 92 minutes is about the average anyway, so I think this episode's winding down for tonight. So, yeah. I need to confess. Go ahead. I mean, I doubt anybody here is going to get it, but still, if you need to, go ahead. That I still... Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. It's just a reference that none of you will get. Anyway. But yeah. Hang on. Okay, sorry. Next episode, I will be counting how many times... Good luck. All my friends died on 9/11. Honestly, a Jesse Anyway counter would be fun. I mean, if I knew how to... Hang on. Alright, what I was going to say. Honestly, if I knew how to, I would. Okay, but I think that covers it for tonight. You know, we reviewed a movie, barely. We had some, yes, 3-for-1 special, 3 cats and yeah, for 1 dueler. Okay, but alas, I think it's time to sign off for tonight. Oh. Yeah. There's that. Alright. Alright, there we go. Keep it going. No, I can't. Genuinely, when I say that I want to watch a show, let me watch it in private on my own time, I beg of thee. Yes, having friends is not. I can't do it all night. You need to fucking understand. Anyway. But yeah, what did we learn? Even though that long... No! Anyway, what did we learn? Oh yeah, the question was just... Oh, whoops. Okay. What did we learn? Oh yeah, the question was answered right there. What did we learn? I learned that Cars 2 isn't in the same league as Cars 1 and 3. Correct. You have to do it on the show's time, not your... Contrary to popular belief, I'm a human being. And while I do I learned that Wonder After Dark hates us and loves us. That's not what I said at all. So stop trying to make me sound like an awful person. You know, I haven't done this all episode. Now's a good time. But that's what we learned tonight. I would watch Wander After Dark doing skits for us like SNL. I mean, yeah. Can we watch you watch it? No, my battery life cannot last that long, and no, my setup does not accommodate a charger like that. Whatever. Okay, hang on. Also, I have Jeffrey Epstein in my basement, in pieces, but I'm holding the One Piece. The One Piece is real, but will I elaborate further? Nope, because I've said enough. Watch you. But for now, that's all the time we have for tonight. We need it. All the time we have for tonight. Genuinely. But always remember, eat your cereal, go to bed, to be continued. God made you special and he loves you very much. If you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Good night, and... Flint and Steel, have a day.